Yeah. Good evening, all. This is Ramana from Learning Thoughts. I'm going to start Jira series of sessions. So total we'll be conducting 3 sessions on about Jira. So session one objective is going to be how to use. So three sessions we are going to discuss. Session one, that is today, we are going to discuss how to use Jira as agile project management tool. In session 2, that is tomorrow, we'll be discussing how to use Jira as test management tool. On session 3, we'll be discussing how to use Jira as defect management tool and a dashboard feature. So these are the 3 sessions we have planned from the Learning Thoughts. So my name is Ramana. Like I have 15 years of experience in IT industry and I'm using Jira tool since 2010. Okay, so I thought of sharing the knowledge with these 3 sessions. So let me start session 1. How to use Jira as an agile project management tool. Jira as agile project management tool. Okay, so as part of this session, as part of this session, we'll be discussing how to create a Scrum project in Jira tool. How to create product backlog in Jira. How to plan sprints using Jira. How to manage storyboard using Jira, and how to create burn down chart and burn up charts using Jira software. So in a high level, these are the 5 topics we are going to discuss in a high level. So let me start with the topic 1. So first of all, how to create a Scrum project in Jira tool. How to create a Scrum project in Jira tool. So how to create a Scrum project in Jira tool. Even everyone can also simultaneously practice along with me. So go to Google. So I'll show you how you can create your own Jira account. So just type Jira Atlassian. So this Jira is a product from Atlassian company. So once you go to this page, just you are accessing Jira cloud version. You need not to install anything on your machine. You are accessing Jira cloud version. So click on get it free. So in addition to Jira, if you want one more add-on, Confluence, I'll be teaching you Confluence also in this series. So this is one more add-on. You can add on, you can go with that add-on, or it's your wish, because the today's focus is on mainly on Jira, not on the Confluence. Confluence, Zephyr, like that I'll be discussing other apps also. Those are the add-ons to Jira software. Once you go to this page, you can create your own Jira account just with your any email ID. Okay, so once you go to this Jira software, so you can access the cloud. You can have your mail ID, whatever the mail ID you want to use, and you can give any site name, any site name. So you can choose a site name, for example, you can choose a site name, for example, learning thoughts, or you can give any name, learning thoughts 123, whatever it is. So it will create a new account for you so that you also can simultaneously practice. So you will be reaching to this page. You will be reaching to this page. You will be reaching to this page. So hope everyone on this page, like if you are simultaneously practicing, because so if you are learning a tool, it is better to practice simultaneously so that you understand very clearly the options and all. So you can see welcome to Jira software. So Jira is a software which can be used for not only for IT projects, it can be used for multiple projects. Even sales teams across the world, marketing teams, even legal teams, support teams. So multiple teams can use the software. You can ignore this question, like skip this question. Then you will get second question also. Which of these best describes what you do? So you are the founder of the company, or you are a business analyst, scrum masters, CTO, student. So you can just simply skip this question. Okay, so again, like you will be reaching to this page called invite your team. So generally what happens if you are working in any organization, so you are creating a Jira as an admin, so you can allow your friends, like developers, testers in your organization. As of now you are only creating for your practice, you can simply skip this one. Okay, so help us set up your Jira. So just so here, so the first topic is how to create a new agile project, or how to create a new scrum project using Jira. Here you have the two drop downs, like it can be used for Jira is not only for software projects. Jira can be used for, as I said, HR projects, some business projects also. So ensure you are, by default you will get the software option. In software, like it is proposing you three options: Kanban framework projects, which comes under lean model, Scrum projects, and bug tracking projects. You can choose Scrum template. So here you can see you are selected a Scrum template. For example, by mistake, if you select any other template, then you can change your template. So we are creating a Scrum project. Ensure, like you are choosing the Scrum template under the software. So it's by default you will get, like only thing, instead of selecting the Kanban, just click on the Scrum. So here you give project name. Let us say, so we are creating a project called insurance upgrade. Let's say we are trying to develop an insurance upgrade project. So Scrum. So create. You can give any name. Yeah. So just in 1-2 minutes we have created a simple Jira project. So now we are in the Jira home page. Now we are in the Jira home page. You can see this is the Jira home page. Okay. So once you reach this Jira home page, first I wanted to explain you this Jira home page. Jira is user friendly and flexible tool. Easy to use. The main USB is easy to use. Even non-technical people or business analyst, you are new to IT industry, so using Jira is very simple, user friendly. Anyone can understand Jira just in couple of minutes. That's how Jira user interface is built. So I wanted to explain the Jira user interface. So here you see this is the main menu of the Jira. Even you can see this is the main menu of the Jira. So Jira main menu. So if you understand how Jira the user interface is built, it is easy to navigate, it is easy to understand. Now you can comfortably use the Jira tool. So the main menu options in Jira are major tabs. Major tabs of Jira are projects option. So option 1 projects option. Option 2 you have filter or filters. 3 dashboards. 4 people apps. Okay, so for example, you are working on multiple projects in your organization. So you can, you can choose your project. For example, so go to projects, click on view all projects. You can see list of your projects which you are assigned or which your company is delivering, if you have access to these projects. So Ramna, I wanted to create one more project. Let's say, so I'm creating one more project, so banking project. So you can select one more project. So while creating projects, okay, let me create one more project. So while creating projects, Jira has given two options: classic project and next generation project. So just next generation project is more easily configurable project. So don't confuse it. It is not a real difference. Basically, there is no real difference between these two configurations. The only difference is they created some more inbuilt-in configurations. So it is easy for you to access the next generation project. So you can choose either classic or next generation. Fundamentally, next generation project is more easy to use, but same features, same functionality. So I'm creating some e-commerce project. You can customize your key also. Let's say you want key as a e-commerce, you can choose. So now you can see list of your projects in Jira. So you can view all your projects. So whenever you are working with Jira, so if you are working on multiple projects, so then go to projects tab and click on view all projects, and you can choose whatever the project which you are working on. Then, so let's say I'm working with insurance project. For example, I'm working with insurance project. So in insurance project, see, definitely if you are working with any project, what generally we do, if you are working with any project, what generally we do, so your project definitely contains whatever the project which you are working, the project may be whatever the project which you are working, the project could be any kind of project. uh, I wanted to say the project could be agile project or a waterfall model project. The project may be agile project. It could be product, or it could be project or service, or it could be maintenance project, a support maintenance or support project. So whatever the project which you are working, so definitely you deal with few entities, right? So few entities, like you need requirements. So requirements could be, so requirements may be for a new project or upgrade project or maintenance project. So we have to deal with requirements. Then for those requirements we'll be writing the test cases. And those requirements, so whenever we are executing the tests, then we'll be finding the defects, or so we'll be creating a tasks kind of thing. Okay, so whenever you are working with any project, so your work may be you might be working on a defects, or you might be working with requirements, you might be working with the tests, or you might be working on some tasks. So in Jira they call it as issue types. So as per the Jira terminology, so as per the Jira terminology, what kind of work you are dealing in your project. So your work items, you might be a defect fix or tests, requirements, epics, user stories. So work items they call it as issue types. They call it as issue types. So issue types, for example, if you go to Jira, let's say so here you see a create button. You see a create button. So you are working on insurance upgrade project. So if you want to create a requirement, if you want to create a test, you want to create a defect, you want to create a task, you want to create a subtask, whatever the work item you are dealing in your company. So you can create issues, issue types. By default, Jira has given different issue types: story, task, bug, epic. So these are the default issue types with the default configuration of the Jira tool. But in your company, you are dealing with something else. So you are dealing with some kind of a sub stories. You are dealing with some kind of sub requirements. You are dealing with some kind of large requirements. So what kind of work you are doing in your company, Jira is like by very easily you can configure, customize Jira as per your project work type. I'll show you. So by default, let's say in my project, so we are working with user stories. It's an agile project. So in this project, requirements are expressed in the form of stories. Requirements are expressed in the form of stories. So when requirements are expressed in the form of stories, okay, so you can write some story like, for example, it's an insurance upgrade project. So to calculate quotation, I'm creating a user story. To calculate quotation, coverages are mandatory so that user can see premium. User can see premium. Let us say, so I'm creating a simple user story. Just click on the create button. So whenever you, let's say now I have created a work item called user story or requirement, something we have created. So Ramana, whenever we create some, like a requirement, test, defect, anything, whenever you create some XYZ in Jira tool by using this create button, it will be stored in the Jira database server. It will be stored in the, so whenever you use create operation, whether you create a requirement, you create an epic, you create a user story, whatever the work you are dealing, you create a defect, you create a task, okay, so you create a subtask. So whatever the work item you create, issue type you create, it will be stored in Jira database. So because in this screen you may not see all the issue types you have created. For example, we might have created hundreds of requirements, hundreds of tests, hundreds of defects. So in your screen you may not see all those requirements, right? So that's why Jira has given a very good option called filters. So filter is an option. So the filter option is given. Why filters option is given? Not only Jira, if you work with Quality Center, like IBM Rational Requisite Pro, Rally, so any application lifecycle management tools, we call it as ALM tools. So when I say application lifecycle management tool, a tool which provides access to manage releases, requirements, tests, defects, your automation scripts end to end. That is called ALM tool. So if you are working with any ALM tool, there is an option called filter. So filter option purpose is so to retrieve like data from the Jira database. So how you can retrieve the data? Okay, so you go to filters. Here you have the two options: view all filters, advanced issue search. View all filters, advanced issue search. If you have already created the filters, then you click on view all filters. But we have not created any filter, so you click on advanced issue search. So in advanced issue search, so you have navigated to search page. So if you navigated to search page, Jira supports two types of search. Jira supports two types of search. So one is simple search. and the second one advanced search. It supports two types of search, simple search and advanced search. Simple search means, so here you choose the project, in which project you are working currently. So you can choose the work item, so or issue type. Are you searching for story cards or epics or bugs or tasks, stories? So even status wise, even you can filter based on the assignee name, or even you can create more options, I wanted to filter based on the created date. You can choose that option. And I wanted to create a filter based on some kind of due date. So I'll tell you what is due date and all. So you wanted to create based on some kind of which is sprint the you are working on. So you can create, so that's why I told Jira is user friendly application lifecycle management tool. Okay, so since 2010, Quality Center and IBM Rational Requisite Pro, these tools were like dominating in the market at that time. But since 2010, in my observation, so many companies has been adopted Jira. The main reason, any person, let's say BA, may not be having huge technical expertise. So any freshers in your organization, so anyone in your company can easily use Jira tool, because it is like an easy to use options they have given. So the one of the best example, filter in Jira is very easy. You need not to write a filter query also. So whatever the work you are doing with the Jira, you want to search for test cases, you want to search for defects, you want to search for user stories, you want to search for something, it is just a drop down. You select what you want to search. Okay, so in tomorrow's session, day after tomorrow's session, I'll be explaining more about the filters. Okay, so first I'm explaining the UI part of the tool. Just I'm explaining, so what are the various options you have. So projects is to work with your projects, and in filter, so you can search, because whatever the work you do in Jira tool, it will be saved in the Jira database. So in the Jira database, to see the work you are doing, so you have the search option, even you have advanced search option. So what do you mean by advanced search? So here switch to JQL. You can see a hyperlink called switch to JQL. What do you mean by JQL? So Jira Query Database. JQL stands for Jira Query Database. Jira Query Database. Jira Query Database. So once you click on JQL, so it is very simple, how you are writing SQL query. So which is stored in some Oracle database, how you are retrieving the data. So here you write, they given a text box kind of thing. You can write, so your project ID, so how you want to filter the data, you can write your own filter. For example, so I am working on, let us say project equal to, I am working on some insurance project. So, and I wanted to filter user stories, issue type equal to story, issue type equal to story. Okay, so I wanted to filter only user stories. Okay. So so in-depth filter option we'll be discussing in tomorrow's session. So in today's session, just I wanted to give you complete overview of the Jira tool. And one more important tip I wanted to explain here. So whenever you are learning any ALM tools, whenever you are learning ALM tools, application lifecycle management tools, application lifecycle management tools. So generally, we can work with projects, we can work with releases. One project definitely multiple releases, and each release has some work. The work may be requirements, user stories, tests, bugs, and so on. Okay, so and based on that we can generate reports. Okay, like this you have any, if you are working with any ALM tool, there are different options you have to learn. There are different options you have to learn. So projects, releases, how you manage your work, and reports. What I am telling, so what I wanted to explain here, simple way of learning ALM tool. Simple way of learning ALM tool. So whenever you are learning any ALM tool, so hope you might, so in one of the interview, okay, they may, so if you say you have Jira experience, they may ask you a question. Tell me few of the other ALM tools, like so popular ALM tools in the market: Jira, ALM tool from Micro Focus. So formerly it was called as HP company. Rally from CA, like now so Broadcom. Okay, so IBM tools you have, IBM rational tools you have. So these are more popular in the market. These are like that. So a number of tools are there. So Microsoft has its own tool called Azure DevOps. So formerly it was called as Microsoft has its own tool called Azure DevOps. So formerly it was called as a TFS. Okay, so like this, there are so many tools. So whenever you are learning any tool, the simple way of learning ALM tool, first you have to learn create option. How to create either requirement, so create requirements or tests or defects. Whenever you are learning create option, very simple thing, you need to learn simple create, bulk create. Simple create, bulk create. So general word is bulk import, the other name is bulk import. So simple create, bulk create, and bulk create is all. So you can see here, so last 10 minutes for doubts clarification. So allow me more time to explain the concept how an ALM tool works. So whenever you are learning, so the simple way of learning, so first you try to learn how to create. It could be a defect, bug, task, ticket, story, whatever it is, requirement, new feature, enhancement, whatever it is, how to create. In create, you have to learn two things: simple create, that means single create. So how to create one requirement by one requirement. And the second option is bulk create, and we also call it as bulk import. So why bulk create is required, why bulk create is required, or why bulk create, or why bulk import. So in few companies they use word called mass import. So why you need to understand this bulk create or bulk import or mass update? Why you need to understand this? Let's say I'll share one real-time scenario here. So in one of the or bulk import or mass update, why you need to understand this? Let's say I'll share one real-time scenario here. So in one of the project, okay. So I was working as a Scrum Master. Okay. So we proposed Jira tool starting of the project. So a new project, in the beginning of the project we proposed Jira tool, but client rejected. Client rejected due to budget constraint. Okay, so we created almost 356, around 356 user stories. We created almost 356 user stories in Excel. Now client realized the importance of Jira or ALM tool. So client has procured Jira access. Now we got Jira access. So new stories we can easily create in Jira instead of Excel. But what about existing stories? What about existing defects? What about existing test cases? So what about existing defects? What about existing test cases? So existing defects or existing test cases, the existing defects or existing test cases, okay, you cannot manually copy paste, right? So manual copy paste from Excel to Jira is a bad idea. So we have to do smart way. That's why every ALM tool is giving an option called bulk import. Bulk import. So whenever you are learning any ALM tool, you can learn in just in 30 minutes. The first tip, how to create a new work item. I mean single work item, multiple work items, how to create. So I'll be teaching you that. So bulk import option. So not now, in tomorrow's session. For example, whenever you click on a create button, Here you see import issues. If you fill this form, let's say if you fill this form, I wanted to create a bug. If you fill this form, it is just like you are creating one defect, but I want multiple defects to be. Already we have created the defects in Excel. So then just whenever click on create button, so import issues. So how import issues, just like wait one more day, we'll be discussing. First I am explaining the concept. Okay, so that this is the first thing. So in the process of learning, how to create the second one. Okay, now you created something in your project. You are a ticketing tool you are using. You want Jira to be used as a ticket management tool. You have created a ticket. So either you create a ticket, story, epic, spike, test case, task, bug, whatever it is you created for your support ticket, whatever is. Then what you have to do? So you want to update the work you are doing. How you express your work? N number of ways. So how to update your work? Again, so updating work means, for example, I created a user story. You can go to see, you can see the user story here in the search page, filter page. Let's say I created some user story. User story is nothing but a simple requirement. I created a simple requirement. A simple requirement in as per Agile terminology, we create user stories. So when you come to this page, whenever you open this, for every work item or issue type, it will create a ID. So this you can copy this URL and you can open in any browser, even in any other tab also you can open. So once you open that, I wanted to edit. Why I want to edit? For example, let's say, so I want to raise some question like requirement is not clear to me. Requirement is not clear to me. So, or I want to raise one more question. Provide list of coverages. So requirement is not clear. I wanted to know list of coverages. I wanted to know coverage amounts. So something you wanted to you want to add a comment. You wanted to log your work you have done, how many hours of work you completed. You wanted to add some attachments. You want to improve the description. You want to improve the title. You want to change the workflow. So status, like so to do status, in progress, done. You wanted to change workflow. Okay, you want to change priority of the user story. You want to change priority from high to low. So whatever the update, so will be in detail, I'll be teaching you all the updates. So whatever the updates you wanted to do, you can do step by step. Open each story, each ticket, each bug, and you can do update. So that is called individual update. And learning update, so update, you have two options again. One is, so update individual work items. Update individual work items, or update mass update. We call it as bulk create is different. This is bulk update. This is bulk update. So bulk create. So bulk create option. So you need to understand bulk update. So bulk update option is very simple. So we'll discussing. So just wait one more day. Okay. So I mean, Ramana, I can't wait even one more day. So just at least show me where it is. Okay. So if you go to search page, in the top right side, you have the bulk change. Even you have 100 stories, 250 stories, 50 stories, 1000 defects. You want to update bulk change. If you click on the bulk change option, okay, here you have import option, here you have the bulk change option. So how bulk change exactly works, you will be practicing in tomorrow's session. Just I'm explaining, focus on the concept. The concept is how to learn any new ALM tool. If you follow this method, you can learn ALM tool in 30 minutes. You can work with any option. Then update. So now we created work, like now we created work and we updated, like update means in which release you are working on the defect, which sprint you are working on the defect, who is the assignee, who is the right developer to fix it. So you want to do assignee changes, workflow changes, status changes. You wanted to do, like description you want to modify, you want to add attachments, you want to some kind of workflow from new state to in progress to fixed to resolved or closed. So workflow changes, assignee changes, you want to log time, you want to write comments, you want to add description, all comes under your updations. So different employees need different updates. You are a developer, you want to update something else. You are a QA engineer, you want to update different fields. So you can do update. And in update you have two options, individual update and bulk update. Then, so once you update, how these updates will be communicated to others? In simple reason, so I have a simple question. Why we are not using Excel sheets to manage this work? Requirements, tests, defects, your end-to-end project management. So what do you mean by project management? So release management, requirement management, test management, defect management, reports management, all this comes under your project management activities. So why we are not doing it in Excel sheets? Because in Excel, definitely, so these changes must be properly communicated. So these changes, so must be properly communicated. So we call it as watchers. So this changes whenever you write a comment, BA must be communicated. Whenever you report a defect, developers must be communicated. So there is a watcher, there is a very good feature in all these ALM tools. So watchers list. So whenever we do some updates, so these updates must be properly communicated to the required resources in your project, so that unnecessarily again you write an email so I have reported a defect, this defect I have some concerns or queries, so no need to write those emails. There is a watchers list. So whenever you update these people in the watchers list, for example, if you go and check here, so there is a watchers list. So let's say I wanted to open one story. So go to the old view. In new view also you can see they are giving two views, old view and new view. On the right side you click here. So there is a you can see stop watching, or you can see watchers list. Ramana, I wanted to add 10-20 watchers at a time. So these notifications, whatever the work I am doing with the tasks, defects, so 10-20 watchers should be notified at a time. So 10-20 watchers to notified at a time. Then so you go to the again filter option. So advanced issue search. Click on the advanced issue search and go here. So that happens through bulk change only. So how it happens in Jira tool, how part I am not explaining, please understand. So how part, like tomorrow only I can explain. So in the 1 hour time I can teach you the concept only. See here, so bulk edit you can do. You can move so few defects from one release to other release. So you can transition, change workflow, new status to in progress status, in progress to fixed status to closed status to reopen status. So you can see that in transition issues, and you can do bulk delete, you can do watch issues. So whenever you do some changes, you created something, some work in Jira, and the work could be any kind of like requirements or tests, updations you can do, updations to assignee, updations to description, updations to attachments, updations to workflow, and you can add watchers list. So and once yes, we have done, we created something, we modified something, and we communicated to the required people in the required teams in our project. Once you already communicated to required teams in our project, then so then what happens? Definitely they start working on it. So they also do modifications, updates already we discussed. So most of the features, delete feature rarely we use. So being a Jira user, so you are a developer, so in a Jira you are a developer, or you are a QA engineer, you are a BA, so you all are called as a Jira users. You are not the Jira admin. So Jira admin has separate permissions. Jira admin is a different role. You are logging into Jira as a user of Jira software. So being a user, you need to understand how to create, how to update, how to watch. So these are the three things you have to be very careful. In addition to these three, so few other few other concepts you need to understand. Few other concepts you yes. So in addition to these three, so few concepts. Okay, I created something, updated something. I want to search. For that, every tool has filter option. In search also, you have the simple search. You have the advanced search. So what is the fourth feature? How to create, how to update watchers and search operation. So generally delete of permission won't be given to you. So in any real-time project, delete option is with the Jira admin. If you want to create something in Jira after creating like test case or defect or requirement, then definitely so you write to Jira admin with your TL or someone permission or approval, then only they can delete those things from the Jira. Okay, or you can create an archive folder kind of thing. You whatever you want to delete, instead of deleting from Jira, you move it to archive folder. So you forget about delete permission. So how to create, how to update, how watchers search. I want to search, because last week I reported a defect to developer. So what is the progress of the defect? You might have forget the defect ID. So every, I mean, the work items will be created with ID, test case ID, defect ID, story ID. So you may not be having, you may not remember all the IDs, right? So whatever the work which is assigned to you, for that the given options called filter. So nothing but, just simply go to advanced issue search. For example, so I wanted to see user stories, created with, so I wanted to assign equal to my name, assign equal to current user, or assign equal to my name. I wanted to see how many I have created, or how many assigned to my name. So how many assigned to my name? So assign equal to current user, or you can use multiple options. You can use multiple option. Assign in, you can use multiple options. They given assign is, assign in, assign is not. All those things we'll be discussing elaborately in tomorrow's session. Today's concept, what is Jira? Few concepts I'm explaining. Tomorrow I'm going to complete in-depth Jira. So how you are going to understand how search works, how create works, how bulk import works, all those things. So search option. So search option. So first one is create option. Second one is update or modify. Third one watchers. Fourth one is search. So any tool, if you know these four different options, at least 60 to 70% you can comfortably start working on the tool. In addition to these four, few other features you need to understand. Few other features you need to understand. That is reports option, boards option, reports, boards, and a dashboard. So how you work with reports, boards, dashboard. How you work with reports, boards, dashboards. So one more, so these are the four common operations, I can say. These are the four common operations on any ALM tool, not only Jira. So I, in series, this weekend I'm conducting Jira. Coming weekends I'll be conducting Azure DevOps, Rally, ALM Octane, multiple tools I may conduct in next 3 months. So any tool you want to learn, these ALM tools, first you need to understand how to do these four operations. Trust me, maximum time 30 minutes to understand. That's why even a new joiner comes to your project also, if you're already working, so you can maximum KT given on quality center, Jira kind of tools, 30-40 minutes, not more than that, because it is easy to understand only if you learn it proper way. Create, update, watchers, and search. In addition to this there are some other features also you have to understand. So those features are, generally whenever you are working with these ALM tools, so those features are, one is reports feature, reports, boards, dashboards. These three comes under so one category. And one more feature, so how you are mapping, how you are mapping this to releases or sprints or based on your project, sprints or cycles, iterations. Okay, so company to company you might use different wording. So you map your work with the time frame, so quarterly release. Okay, so sprints, iterations, cycles depends upon your organization. Okay, how are weekly, week wise reports, day wise reports. So how frequently you are planning that work, you are implementing that work, you are deploying that work. So you might be in your organization, you might be using any one of this kind of a keyword. Okay, so releases, sprints, cycles. So releases, sprints, cycles, iterations, whatever it is. So reports feature you need to understand how that work is organized into, how that work is organized into releases, sprints and cycles, releases, sprints and cycles. So that is also like so how that work is organized into releases, sprints, cycles, iterations also important. So I mean, so based on your organization, you might be using one or two terminology out of it. And the next one, so reports feature one thing you need to understand, releases feature one thing you need to understand, and the next one, so admin level settings, so which we call it as so Jira configurations. For example, so Jira configurations, for example, one example I wanted to give. Let us say you are working in insurance project, you are working in insurance project. You are working in insurance project. So whenever you are working in insurance project, okay, so let's say I want to create something in insurance project. I wanted to create a story, task, story, epic, but in my organization, so we are creating a tickets example. Assume that we are creating a ticket, but can you see the ticket option here? No. The default Jira configuration, bug option is there, task option, story option, epic option, but ticket option is not there, test option is not there. So how to do that? For that you have to do configurations. That permissions in real-time projects Jira admins will be having. So how Jira admin will get that permission? How Jira admin will get that permission? So how Jira admin will be getting that permission? So I'll show you simple example just for your satisfaction. So because all these features tomorrow only we are discussing in the next session only. But so just to go to settings, go to your project, e-commerce project. So project settings, there is a project settings module, project settings, issue types. Left side you can see issue types, issue types. So the default Jira configuration has story, bug, epic, task, subtask. But I want to create a ticket, I want to create a test case. That is not given in the Jira default configuration, but Jira is flexible to add that item. So how to add that one? Go to actions, edit issue types, edit issue types. Okay, so you can see a button called add issue type. You can create a new issue type. I want to create a ticket. In my project, the work we are dealing is tickets. So ticket. See, ticket is added. I want to create, in my project is pure testing project. I want to create a test case. Add test case. Okay, so here you can see task, subtask, story, bug, epic, ticket, test case. For example, your project is not at all dealing with subtask. Remove that. Task. So who will do this in real time? Your admin will do. So save this and back to your project. Save this back to your project. Now you click on the create button. Select here. See ticket option, test case. Subtest is not there. So these are called as, these kind of activities called as Jira admin settings configurations, customizations. That is not that difficult. Okay, so I try to cover few customizations. Okay, so and the last one you need to understand Jira integrations. So when I say how Jira could be integrated to Confluence folder, Confluence, like how Jira you can add PPTs or video files kind of thing in Confluence. So how Jira could be integrated with other apps, other softwares. So how Jira could be integrated with Selenium scripts, how Jira could be integrated with Zephyr or test rail, Zephyr or test rail, some kind of testing apps. Zephyr is a test management tool. How Jira could be integrated with Bitbucket or Git or Jenkins. So for this, they given an option called apps. Okay, so you can find new apps. So if you want to add any other apps, Jira you want to integrate with other apps, you have an option called, so Jira has other integrations. So Jira can be integrated with multiple softwares. So Git integration for Jira, GitHub for Jira. So or you can see here, this could be integrated with the test management tool Zephyr, so for test management. And you can create, you can integrate with Jira with the let us say Jira. Um, so it could be created with multiple tools, like not one tool. So multiple tools you can integrate. So let me simplify this. Let me simplify. So you have four options, four operations you can do with Jira: creating, updating, watching, search. And you have four important features. So features are how you work with reports, boards, dashboards, releases, admin settings, integrations. And one more thing, if you want me to add, how you work with users, creating other users and all, like giving permissions, users permissions. So it is very easy only. Okay, users and permissions. So if you learn this 4 plus 5, maximum 9, that is end-to-end tool for anything, any ALM tool. So every feature, if you want to learn 10 minutes, 90 minutes is the maximum time required, and most of these options also not required for you in real time. So as part of this Learning Thoughts live event ALM tool series, okay, so next 3 months we'll be teaching all the tools, number one. Number two, in Jira, tomorrow session, day after tomorrow session, based on the today's concept, I'll be showing you how we do those activities live, how to create test case, how to create defect, how to create user story, how to create sprint planning, everything. So all those options I'm going to create. How part. So if you ask me also now, my answer would be tomorrow I'll explain, because whenever you can definitely raise your doubts about Jira. Concept I explained today, the practical implementation today you can install, today you can access your Jira cloud. So practical implementation tomorrow we will be practicing from 5 to 6. Okay, so I tried to give introduction about Jira, and I mean how to work with Jira in a high level. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, if needed, I'll extend this to 3-4 days also. So we'll go step by step very slowly, and you can practice along with me in tomorrow's session. Yeah. Now open to questions. Yeah, let me see here questions. Yeah, wonderful. So I'll come from one by one question. So after session is we'll get recording. So after the session, this will be in the YouTube. Wonderful. So yeah. So Madhusudan Reddy has a question. Sir, can we estimate story points in Jira? Yes, Madhu. So I'll be I'll be clearly explaining you how to give story points in Jira. If you want right now, you want to see, it's very easy. So go to open any story. Go to story points. Here you have the feature story points. I'll show you tomorrow in detail, just for your satisfaction. You go to Jira. In this you can see here story points. Okay, so how to give the story points? Yes, we can give the story points. Then so Rishi, I try my level best to explain you the JQL. So sir, can you please explain each issue type, specifically epic? Yes, Devashish, it's a good question. So today I explained the high level concept. Tomorrow I'll start what exactly epic means. So epic is a big requirement in Agile project, and I'll be showing you epic and how epics will be converted to user stories and how user stories will be assigned with the task. So give me one more day time, Devasish. Tomorrow I'll be clearly explaining you that, So, and guys, whenever you get any questions or doubts on Jira practice, so you can definitely interact with me tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Even you want like more doubts to be clarified kind of thing. So I'm available, ramana@qualitythought.in. This is my mail ID, ramana@qualitythought.in. You can reach out to me at any point of time for like your doubts on any ALM tool, at least 4 ALM tools: Jira, quality center related queries, Jira related queries, ALM Octane, Rally. So I worked with multiple tools. So I mean, after the session, so if you are not happy or you are not comfortable, you are not able to practice, so by using the video, you can write a mail to me, ramana@qualitythought.in. So I'm always like in 24 hours I'll try to give reply. Yeah. Okay. So okay. So right. I mean, where we are? I think I came down. Okay. Yeah. So Epic. So Debasish, tomorrow I'll be explaining you how we'll get the class video. And the same, the video will be in the YouTube forever. So in the Learning Thoughts is our YouTube channel. So in the Learning Thoughts YouTube channel, you can access this video. So thanks, Manikanta, for your that really motivates me. Your acknowledgement. Okay, so Praveen, so you need not install Jira, Praveen. So Jira can be just like you can access the cloud version of the Jira. So just go to Google and type Jira Atlassian. Okay, so I explained in the beginning of the session. Just you go through the video once it is like after the session, you will understand. If you fail to understand tomorrow, if you want, I can repeat. No, Jira is not a open source tool. It is from Atlassian company. It is a paid one only. Okay, so very less number of questions. Yeah. So story point calculation. Yes, Thermal Razu. Tomorrow we'll discuss the story points. How story points will be given in the Jira tool. Okay. So thanks for your patience and supporting Learning Thoughts YouTube channel. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and I can extend not only 3 sessions, 5 sessions, 6 sessions, 7 sessions, based on your interest. Based on your interest, I'll be extending the sessions. Okay, I want every one of you to get practiced in the same session. So tomorrow you will be practicing with me how to end-to-end project management flow, test management flow, defect management flow. All three you are going to practice along with me. Okay, so we have very good question from Anil Kumar. Is all features important for DevOps? See, first of all, like whether you are a tester, developer, DevOps engineer, so the basic flow of any ALM tool is important, and that learning ALM tool is also just like couple of hours or minutes only. So it is better to have idea, so that, for example, simple. So in few projects, like in still I remember in 2010. So I was new to Jira, and no one trained me on Jira. So just we started working on it. So I don't know how to write a JQL query, by using advanced search option. So no one taught me we have that option. So we explored it to one. I mean, so it couple of days we struggled a lot, like to search for the stories. So it is better to have, irrespective of your role in IT industry, it is better to have knowledge on ALM tool. Yeah, so Nitish Kumar, so I'll be covering like filtering. So JQL, yes, JQL is simple SQL statements, Jira query language. You use, so writing a JQL statement is also very easy. You need to understand, so in, not in, equal to, not equal to, basic statements. I'll try to make it very, I'll try to teach in a simplified manner tomorrow session. Yeah, thanks all. So if you have any questions later the post session also, you can write email to me, ramana@qualitythought.in. Okay, so and go through this video once again if you have any like clarification how to access the Jira. So most of the practical tomorrow I'll be covering, and I'm going to end the stream for today. Let's meet tomorrow again at 5 o'clock. Sir, what is the market share of the Jira tool? So, Aduri Verma Sanjeev has a good question. So, market share of the Jira tool, like you can validate in Everest website. But what I can say is one company, they do last 4 5 years. Jira is in the last 4 5 years. Jira is in the number one place. So remaining, like Jira. Next place goes to Rally, IBM Rational Tools. Okay, so will you cover Jira integration with any one app? Yes, I'll be covering